This is Hot Mic.
Hot Mic.
On the networks of WDAY.
WDAY.
Here's Dom Izzo.
Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2, ready to rock and roll. Don't forget, we got Bison Media Zone coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Get you ready for the conference road opener for North Dakota State against Illinois State. We got a half hour of that chatter coming up in just a little while. Looking forward to that as everybody else begins Valley play this weekend. Notably, South Dakota State on the road against Youngstown State. We'll chat about that. North Dakota's conference opener on the road with Northern Iowa. We'll get to all that coming up later on in our half hour here today. Looking forward to that conversation. All right, so we mentioned in our best of the weekend on Monday. And for you Gopher fans who always are on my case, you never talk enough about the Gophers, here it is for you, because it's a double whammy. Because Minnesota knocked off Rutgers in a thriller on Saturday in anticipation now of their real biggie against the Ohio State coming up Saturday night, 6:30, prime time on NBC with the reigning national champs. And the neat part about their win over the Scarlet Knights on Saturday, West Fargo's Karter Menz was a huge part of the victory. Now, little backstory before we play. I had a chance to interview Karter yesterday afternoon. Menz burst on the scene 2021 in his junior season. And that summer, the summer of 21, when things started to get crazy, the Bison had offered him. His older brother Cole was recruited to NDSU, was going to NDSU at the time. Matt Entz, who clearly had ties to West Fargo Cheyenne with each of his sons going there, saw Karter could be a potential big-time player, offered him. And I want to say 2 days later, P.J. Fleck in Minnesota got into the mix, and they offered him. He ended up having more than a handful of Power 4 offers and ended up deciding that summer that he would commit to Minnesota. He signed with the Gophers after his senior season in December of 2022. He redshirted in 23. He got in a couple games last year in 2024, but now after a couple of portal departures and, frankly, of getting bigger and stronger, he's moved up the depth chart now in his redshirt sophomore season that he's playing. He's playing a lot. I've had people message like, hey, check out number 11 for the Gophers. He's playing. And then on Saturday, I got a bunch of messages during the game that he burst out, and he certainly did, with 5 tackles, 2 TFLs, and a sack in the win over the Scarlet Knights. So with that, we had a chance, our thanks to the University of Minnesota for making this happen, to visit with Karter Menz about finally getting on the field and making an impact with the Gophers.
That was really fun. Of course, it's great to get that first sack, especially in a game like that. That was, I'd say, one of the more fun games I've ever played in.
Did it feel like a long time coming, make the work that the last couple of years be worth it?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I was saying after the game. That was just a long time coming. Just working every day for these past couple of years just to get to that moment.
You get a sense that this was coming, that your opportunity just was going to come eventually?
Yeah, for sure.
I guess expectation-wise heading into the year, what did you have for yourself on that you could be a difference maker, get out there and play this year?
Yeah, I feel like our room is really good. You know, me and Jax, push each other to get better every day. But I feel like we both are like put this team in a really good spot to, go out there and compete at our position.
I guess take me back to getting here all the last couple of years. Like, what is this? What would you tell yourself a couple of years ago you didn't know about specific like college football that you know now?
Yeah, I would tell myself just be patient, like your opportunity is not going to come right away, but you just got to be ready for it when it comes.
Is that, I guess, make it even sweeter of what happened on Saturday?
Yeah, definitely. I was really excited for that one.
Describe that moment of having that, especially at home, the crowd, in a tight game when it was, when you're going off the sideline, like, holy cow, I made a big play.
Yeah, I wasn't even really thinking about it at that moment. That was that I got a sack even. I was just like, I was so into the game, just excited to make a play.
Big Ten football. We talked about it when you committed a couple of years ago. Now you're in it. So give us the gist of, is it look as fast, as tough as we see it on TV? You're living it.
Um, it did definitely take some getting used to right when I first got in it, but I feel comfortable now and confident in my abilities here.
What does Coach Fleck, what does your D coordinator talk to you about your role and even expanding it after what happened this past Saturday?
Mhm. Yeah, they definitely just tell me like just be ready. I mean, um, yeah, just be ready. Just go out there and attack it every day.
I remember when you were going through the recruiting process, how crazy it was that Minnesota, some other big schools were coming to Fargo and West Fargo. Now it seems we got, we got Big Ten teams up here all the time. Describe that of kind of leading the charge. And now the Gophers are up here looking at guys from Cheyenne, Davies, Kindred all the time now.
Yeah, that it's definitely cool. I mean, when I was first getting recruited, it was definitely like it was a cool thing because I hadn't seen much of that, like much of the Big Ten teams up in North Dakota. But yeah, it definitely seems like we got a lot of Big Ten guys now coming out of North Dakota.
Describe for Carter the last couple of years for people that don't get to, we don't see you play on Saturday, going through scout team, redshirting, the grind of that, and how that's paid off now 2 years later.
Yeah, I mean, my first couple years, running scout team, not playing too much, it definitely it teaches you just got to keep going. It teaches you to be tough. I feel like that was definitely like playing those 2 years on scout team and all that. That definitely helped me to get to where I am now.
And going up against your offensive line, guys that are playing professionally, I mean, how much better did that make you doing that, getting beat up, unfortunately, on a day to day
Yeah,
basis?
yeah. I feel like I feel like that's when I grew the most is going against guys like Ariante in my first year. That he's a really good player, and I feel like that really helped me grow.
How much you got support back here? I know your folks never miss anything, but tell me about, especially after the game on Saturday, of hearing from people back here about what you've been doing.
Yeah, that was really cool to just, all my buddies back home just like shoot me a text after the game, just congratulating me. And yeah, definitely support from my family. That's really, really cool to hear.
I know Cole just wrapped up his career. Describe your relationship with him and seeing him go out and win a championship in his final year.
Yeah, that was a cool experience. I got to actually go up there for that game. Right after the bowl game, just flew down to Frisco, and that was really cool seeing him go out on top.
What was that like to share that moment after the game?
That was awesome. I was very proud of him. Like I think he had two national championships. That was just really cool to see.
Pretty big one this week. I mean, this is, when you're getting recruited, there's places to go. Ohio State comes right to mind just before the opponent. Tell me you're just thinking about playing in the horseshoe on a prime time on Saturday night.
Yeah, very excited for that one. They're a really, really skilled team, but I'm confident in what we can do and, going out there.
I'm interested just getting in you take a sense in even warm-ups just to look around a little bit. Like, all right, this is come a little bit from West Fargo, North Dakota to Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely take it in when I get there, but as soon as game time, it's just like any other game.
How much you got to tell guys on your team about, hey, we actually got some dudes. We got some players in North Dakota.
Yeah. I feel like most guys here don't really have the right idea about North Dakota. They think it's all like, farmland and all that, but yeah, we definitely got some skilled players there.
What's the one thing maybe you tell yourself now that maybe you didn't 2 years ago when you got to Minneapolis?
I feel like just being open to, new experiences. It's pretty different from back home, but I like it up here. It's just I've had a lot of new experiences up here.
Have they moved you around, or are you pretty much defensive? Like, just tell me about position wise over the last couple of years where you've been at.
Yeah, first and second down. Yeah, I've been at rush, but like third down packages, we do a lot of moving around, a lot of I've been at like three tech for third down, like I've been at edge, all that. We just move guys around to give us the best chance at, pass rushing.
Where do you get a sense now? Hey, I feel comfortable. Now you've gone out and done it. How much does that help your confidence going forward? Not just for this coming Saturday, but for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it definitely helps to just know that I can do this and it does build a little more confidence. There's just learning from these first 4 games, just taking what I learned there and just being able to apply it for the rest of the year.
Seeing up close how much Coach Fleck has changed the atmosphere there on a game like a home game. Describe what that's like now with the students packed in. It was packed house on Saturday. What's that like now for Gopher home football games?
Yeah, that's awesome when the stadium is packed, crowd is loud. That just really helps us out. It's very exciting when you hear the crowd noise like that.
It's a pretty big week back in your hometown. I think Horace and West Fargo are going to play for the first time. Horace going to play Cheyenne. What have you heard from back here about those football games actually going to happen now?
Yeah, I was talking to my family about that the other day. Didn't Horace moved up a division, didn't they?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, that should be a good game.
What do you remember about those, like the Cheyenne West Fargo games you played and how big a deal that was?
Yeah, those were some of my favorite games. I feel like it was West Fargo and Davies, Shanley. Yeah, I looked forward to those games all the time.
What's comparable now for you guys? Obviously, Wisconsin. What comes like now that you're in it, when you've lived in it? Iowa. What are the ones like? Holy cow! These are monster games.
Yeah, the big games. Wisconsin, Iowa, but teams like Nebraska, definitely Ohio State, Michigan. Those are games I look forward to.
What he's gone through over the last couple of years. We appreciate his time yesterday, and we'll see. Now, get a chance to get out there, watch number 11 make some plays as Minnesota takes on Ohio State on Saturday night. I just went back into his recruiting profile for when things got nuts. Right after we mentioned the 2021 season. So that February of 22, NDSU was the first to offer, followed by Ohio, South Dakota State, Eastern Michigan, and Miami of Ohio. So we're in early March of 22. Then things got crazy. Because then after that, Nebraska offered him. And I know that's when at least the radar bells here on this show started going off. Then Army, South Dakota, Princeton, Columbia, Air Force, Minnesota then came in early April of 2022, Kansas, Washington State, San Diego State, Vanderbilt, then Stanford came in. All the attention, and Riley Sunram was going through this at the same time as well, where these schools we're not used to do. Now, we're 3 years removed from this, and now we're seeing Michigan and Minnesota routinely coming up here and offering guys. This is just 3 years ago. It wasn't commonplace. He did Karter in early June of 2022 and then ended up signing that December. And you heard from him about what the last couple of years have been like. And frankly, in an era now where it's easier to leave than it ever has been, I think there may have been some here in the local football community thinking, well, maybe he can come back this way. That, his brother was here. They'd come back and play at North Dakota State. Now that he's got a chance to go out there and make some plays, clearly Minnesota likes what he's doing. He's moved up the depth chart and is playing in a spot where he can be an impact guy that you saw it. He's not overwhelmed out there. He's going to have a big-time challenge, though, against Ohio State's offensive line. We'll be keeping our eyes on that coming up on Saturday. Appreciate his time, and if you missed any of that, we'll podcast it later today at Inforum.com. We'll break. We come back. We'll put a bow on things, get you ready for the Bison Media Zone. A couple emails coming in as well as we roll on a Wednesday morning edition of Hot Mic on WDAY Extra right after this.